Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. Today I'd like to have a look at the US E-minis for yesterday, which was February the 22nd, particularly on the YM on a 3-minute chart. This is the mini Dow, the YM on a 3-minute chart. This is what we're looking at here. For standard traders, you can see we have an automatic TS4 sell setup here. So if I zoom into this a bit closer, you can see a standard MTPredictor setup, a sell setup with a red sell bar on a red STF downtrend, in other words. So a good trade to take. Let's put the analysis on. Right mouse click, select automatic setup, click on the coloured reversal bar, and our analysis is put on, which includes our position sizing. Here, to keep our risk small under control, the software was suggesting to sell 8 contracts. Our initial target was down here with a risk reward of 3.4R at the first target. The YM declined nicely into our first target. We then looked to the STF to see whether it's what we call weak, in other words less than our strength band here. If this is the case, as we have here, we then assume that the market is not going to carry on trending and we want to come out at our first target, and as such this TS4 short trade would have banked a very nice profit of 3.4R. In other words, the profit of approximately $1,300 would have been approximately 3.4 times greater than the initial risk of $400. There was a TS1 sell towards the end of the day, but you probably wouldn't want to take that trade because you're only a few bars before the close of the session. So overall, for standard traders, a brilliant day in that we had a standard TS4 sell with all the standard guidelines managed in the standard way that had a lovely plus 3.4R profit. So all in all, a good day for the standard traders. But many of you will look at this and say, well, actually there was a huge decline earlier in the day, so wouldn't it be nice to actually catch that? So this is what I'd like to look at in the rest of this video, is how some more of the experienced traders among you would have been able to catch this particular fall. For those of you who've been attending my trading room sessions on a Wednesday, you'll know that I've been having a good look at using the last swing into a high or low to then project DP support or resistance, and this is a great example of how to use this. So here's the last swing. You can see the swings are on the chart for you. So from here down to here is the last swing into the low. So what we do is we select our decision point tool, so we click on this, we then click on the last pivot going into the last swing. So we click on this pivot here, and this gives us a decision point level into the future. Again, that's important, into the future, where we're going to anticipate some resistance. So let's have a look what the YM did. You see it rallied up, and then got into that level and made a high. But then more importantly, what I like the look of was, sorry, I'll go back a few bars, was this bar here. So the first entry into that level, you could have said yes, we were at the level and therefore resistance was anticipated, but were there any other reasons why we thought a high might come in? Well, this is where we move on to some of the other techniques that we look at in MTPredictor. Again, these are all advanced techniques that are in the software that we teach how to use, that's above and beyond just the automatic setups. This is what I keep going on about, is MTPredictor is far more than just a set of automatic setups. It's a way to read how the market's moving. So if we look here, we go onto our volume, we have here our what I call our VSA, or high volume spike indicator. And as you can see here, this bar here is highlighted as a red VSA bar. What we look to is the very next bar to see whether the market fails to follow through. And that's exactly what happened. So here we had a red sell bar, one bar after the VSA bar when we were in a decision point resistance. Now that indicates that this high volume here is not buying, it's actually selling. It's actually professional selling, because the high volume bar failed to continue in the original direction. So it's actually professional traders looking to get short. Standard technical analysis, if we look at stochastic, you can see the stochastic was showing lovely divergence as well. So you had three things coming together here. You had a decision point resistance area that was on the chart literally almost an hour in advance, so that indicated to you or gave you advance warning of a level where you anticipated this rally to end. You had standard technical indicators giving you divergence, and also you had the MTPredictor high volume spike indicating that professional traders were actually selling into this rally at this point. If we go forward, you can see that actually, if I go right to the end of the day and I zoom in a bit, that actually nailed the very high of the day for you. Yep, those routines got you in for a short trade right at the high of the day. Now that's pretty amazing. So how could you have traded this? Well, at the very initial level, you'd want to say that if this is a high, you'd say the market would actually go down to new lows. So we go back to the entry bar, which is there, and we put our decision point tool again by click. We click on the major low, which is here. So we're thinking at the very least we should have a target down here. So let's put the risk reward on. So we click, click, click. So at the first target where we think the market is going to go to, if this is indeed going to be a high, would be a lovely 4.9 profit. So as we know, the market already gets there, so it goes down nicely, and then whoops, reaches this level here, which is very nicely indeed. Now let's go to the STF and we then look at the strength band. And as you can see here, the strength band was actually exceeded. We don't look at it when the market actually gets to the level because the strength band had already been exceeded. So this indicates that the market is going to trend a bit further, in other words go lower. So it's the opposite to what we saw on our TS4 setup right at the beginning of this video. So here you then assume that it's going to go lower, so use our ATR stop, which is our red dots here, to then trail this short trade lower. So we move forward, we move forward, we move forward. We're using the ATR stop here, here, here. We move forward, we move forward, we move forward. It keeps drifting down, drifting down, drifting down, and actually stops you out just about here. So let's just clear this chart off so we just get this back on again. So there's our level there where we came short in from. Here was our initial target that was reached here. STF was strong, therefore we use the ATR stop to come out down here. If we put the risk reward on, you can see that by 3 clicks this would have produced a profit of approximately 7R. Yes, 7 times the initial risk. As you can see, $2,800 profit is approximately 7 times greater than your $400 initial risk. So this shows you the power of the tools in MTPredictor, that it allowed you to anticipate this resistance area in advance before the market got there. Our VSA indicator here allowed us to enter the trade because we knew professional traders were getting short into this area. Market came down into our first target. We then had an indicator that told us that the market was going to go lower. We then had our trailing stop that allowed to keep us in for basically the major decline of the day yesterday. So these are the tools that are in MTPredictor above and beyond the automatic setups. That's why I have to stress is that MTPredictor is not just automatic setups as you saw here, although we did have a nice plus 3.4R trade there. But once you get used to the software and you come into our training webinars, we'll show you how to use more of the advanced tools that will allow you to capture trades like this. So as you can see, using MTPredictor, it was absolutely brilliant day yesterday on the YM, where the tools in the software allowed you to nail the very high of the day, capture a massive 7R profit as the market declined, and then later in the day had another short trade for another 3.4R from the standard trade. So yesterday on the YM for MTPredictor users should have been a plus 10R day, which was an absolutely fantastic return on how the market actually moved. Again, all these tools are in MTPredictor, and it's what we teach you on a weekly basis, how to use these tools and how to get the most from the software.